Hiya folks, welcome to the Leeds View for the instant match reaction. Leeds United 1, Aston Villa 2. We will get to your comments towards the second half of the stream. We'll get the initial kind of thoughts out of the way. But let me know what you did think of the game. Let me know what you thought the two halves. That's a tough one to take. It's Leeds' 5th defeat in 6 matches. It's the first time Leeds have lost at home since taking the lead in 33 games. So yeah, tough one to take. A very, very, very good first half from Leeds United. Very similar to what we saw against Newcastle and Everton, the kind of first half that we wanted to see from this Leeds United side. We had the aggression back. We had the tight marking back. We were moving the ball quickly, one touch, moving it. And then we saw a similar start to the second half that we've seen from Leeds. Far too often this season, they came out far better in the second half. They had to go for it. They made positive changes at half time and they had a proper go at us. And we didn't live with it. It took until, you can see it in the momentum graph right down there below. It takes until they scored a second goal for Leeds to try and come back out again and start having a go. And they did have a go. Leeds did very much still have a go towards the end. And there was a couple of chances as well towards the back end of the game. We have a goal ruled out for a handball. It is a handball, unfortunately. I think initially I saw it and looked like it maybe hit off his chest, but in the replay, it comes off his hand. And the Premier League rule states that if a goal is scored off a hand, accidental or otherwise, goal is ruled out, and it was ruled out. It would have been a fantastic reaction straight away. We didn't see the capitulation that we've seen in the last 2 away games. We did see Leeds try and get forward and still have a go, but ultimately it wasn't enough. There were chances for Villa towards the end of the game as well. Malin had a very good chance, possibly should have scored. They also had an opportunity with Barkley towards the end as well. If he'd seen Malin free in the penalty area, completely unmarked. He didn't, luckily for Leeds. And we still had a go. Changes for Leeds. Again, I think the talking point, and you can let me know again in the comments, I would imagine a lot of the talking points will be the timing of the Leeds United changes. The first one, the first half, is an enforced change. Tanaka comes on for Anton Stack, who took a really bad knock to the back of his neck the way he landed in the first goal. But Tanaka was excellent. He was absolutely, I thought he was excellent. I thought he covered so much ground. He was winning tackles. He was throwing himself into things. He was progressive with the ball, and we got it. But he got booked. And then the second half, he gets 2 more tackles where it looks like you're probably going to have to think about making the change. The change is made. And then a bit of a change of shape for Leeds into a 4-2-3-1. But again, the issue for Leeds are where the changes, the right changes, where they made quick enough, because the rest of the changes don't come until the 70th minute mark on the dot. Villa made the changes at half time and in the early 60s of the game and went for it. Absolutely went for it. But yeah, it's a tough one because, I mean, if you want to break this down, because there are positives and negatives, I think the first half for Leeds is exactly how Leeds United need to play. I thought the first half Leeds were excellent in the first half. I thought we were incredibly aggressive. We were tight. We didn't give them any space. We were doubling up on players. When the ball did go into an Aston Villa's player's feet, we had players close to them that they couldn't do anything. We forced them back to their goalkeeper. It was so reminiscent of how we played against Everton. And then the second half, there's just a little bit more space. We're just sitting off a little bit more than we were in the first half. And we maybe looked a bit tired. I thought about the 60-odd minute on, Leeds started to look a little bit leggy. Probably could have made changes a lot earlier than we actually did. But then you can see the goal. It's a good free kick. It's an up and over the wall. It goes right over Joe Rodon's head. Keeper doesn't see it till the last second. It's a perfect free kick. It's not in the corner, but again, it's enough that the keeper doesn't see it till the very last second, and he scores. First goal, question marks. It's a familiar looking goal. We've seen Leeds concede this goal before down the left-hand side, our left-hand side. The ball comes across and nobody gets across the front man. And he gets a little flick. Again, very little the goalkeeper can do. Tries to make himself big and the ball shoots in over his shoulder. But again, not getting across. Jayden Bogle was the player, funnily enough, that was with him. I'm not sure what Bogle was even doing on that side of the pitch because it came in the other side. Surely he should have been at the back stick. But he's obviously man marking and tracking a runner. They don't do enough when they score. But yeah, Leeds were completely dominant in the first half outside the possession. But Leeds were far more in control. They'd Villa rattled. They were moving the ball well, as I say. Jayden Bogle, Joe Rodon, Lucas Mecha, Brendan Aronson, all very good second halves. Second half, just a very different performance. Leeds trying to go forward a little bit more once they've conceded the second goal. But again, a problem for Leeds, and it is the problem. We've scored again. So the attacking player coming in, Leeds scored. And they scored from an attacker, although it was kicked against them. But we've conceded 2 more goals. Conceded 2 again. We are not stopping goals. And we changed the centre half today. Didn't make a difference. Still conceded 2 goals. But yeah, we'll go through it. Leeds take the lead in the 8th minute. Lucas Mecha. It's a good free kick from Sean Longstaff. Gabby Goodmunson does really well to back stick to win it and put it back across the goal. Anton Stack gets up, wins it, kind of comes off his shoulder and drops down, but he lands really badly on his neck on the side of Amy Martinez's boot. And then as the ball's cleared, it hits off Lucas Mecha and goes in. 3 goals and 3 starts for Lucas Mecha. Thought he did a very good first half, specifically second half, a little bit more isolated, had to do an awful lot more running the channels on his own. 19th minute, Villa went through on goal. McGinn has a pass to Watkins. Joe Roden does really well, steps across, wins the ball very well. But yeah, first 25 minutes I've written down. Leeds started well, aggressive, pressing high, not giving them any space. Buendia being marked out of the game by Bogle, doing really well. Longstaff being very physical in his tackles, all very, very good. 21 Stack goes off for Tanaka. But yeah, it continues then. Leeds have a ball around the corner from Bogle. Mecha gets pulled back, possible shout for a penalty, bit soft. Aronson comes in, side foots it, hits the side netting. But again, Leeds are pressing high and pressing fast. The continuing trait, or the continuing bit of comment I wrote for all my notes in the first half were Leeds on the front foot. Described the first half as an excellent half for Leeds. Possibly exactly what you want to see this Leeds United side do, playing to our strengths, playing to our physicality, rattled Aston Villa. All they were doing was complaining to the referee. We had them in a position where we could control them. I thought Jayden Bogle pocketed Emi Buendia, who's been in fantastic form in recent week. Brendan Aronson was working well, defending very well. Lucas Mecha holding the ball up, winning free kicks. Joe Roden cleaning up anything that was flowing around. Gabby Goodmunson was doing great down the left-hand side. Tanaka was covering every blade of grass, trying to get Leeds out. And when he wasn't doing that, he was winning the ball. And you went in a half-time and we were doing the watch line on Big Up and we said, just play the same way in the second half. Come out in the second half. Don't come out the way we've come out in every second half in the last 6 or 7 games and just sit off them a little bit and let them get a foothold. They were always likely to come at us. They were a very good side with very good players, and they made their changes early. They made 2 changes at halftime. They changed their entire left-hand side. Matson and Mallon came on, and they went for it. But as I say, they just sat off a little bit. The aggression wasn't as aggressive as it had been, and it took 2 minutes. 2 minutes for Aston Villa to equalise. They go down the left-hand side. Matty Cash passes the ball to Matson, puts it across the box. Morgan Rogers from post, little flick. It's a great run by Rogers. It's a good flick by him. Again, you've got to get someone across the front of that runner. You've got to push the player out of play. You've got to be closer and tighter to him. We don't do that, and they score. And then straight away Leeds have a chance. It's Okafor runs forward, cuts inside, passes the ball to Longstaff, and he just blazes the ball over the crossbar. There's a couple of opportunities for Longstaff today for long-range shots where he smashed through the ball rather than settling the volley as well. I think where he kind of topped it as well. 54 minutes, Villa have another chance. It's more Rogers to Watkins. He cuts in and shoots. Perry parries it down. Probably needs to hold that ball as well. But between him and Stroke, they managed to get it clear. And then in 60 minutes, I wrote down, Leeds are looking leggy. Villa are more in control of the game. Leeds not moving the ball quickly enough anymore. That was a big factor for me, how the game turned. 65, Villa have a chance. McGinn has a shot, goes just over. He picks up the ball completely free in Leeds penalty area. 66 minutes, they make their second set of changes. Still no changes from Leeds outside of the enforced one in the first half. 69, they get another chance. Mallon's played in. He has a shot to wide. Probably should do better there as well. 73, Villa free kick. Goal. Then Leeds start to play. They have a goal straight away. Dan James down the right-hand side, puts it across, hits off DCL's hand, goes in the back of the net. Goal. Piru has a ball in for Nanto, passes to Aronson. Then Piru and Nanto come on for Aronson in the 79th minute. All of our strikers are on the park, go to plan B, and Leeds start to have a goal again. 82 minutes. Then Villa have Mallon down the right-hand side, has a chance to score, shoots over. 87 minute, Leeds get another chance. Great save. Pascal Stroke, header down low. Possibly should go across the goal, but it's a very good header from Stroke. It's a really good save from the keeper. But if you look at the second half notes versus the first half, second half, Villa come out strong, start fast, got at Leeds immediately, and Leeds didn't deal with it. We weren't making positive decisions. We didn't make positive changes. We made reactive changes. Not compact as we were in the first half. Standing off them, giving them a little bit of half a yard or a yard more than they had, just to get a bit of a half turn and have a look at players. Where in the first half, every time they touched the ball, we had a player straight on top of them. And they weren't letting them breathe. Second half, it wasn't there. Not aggressive enough in the second half. And again, we concede from ball in the wide areas. So really disappointing second half. And that's been, you look at that momentum graph and then go and look at the momentum graph. Outside that last block where Leeds have a goal right there at the very, very end. It's a similar second half than we've seen this season. But Leeds did have a better goal. Leeds were trying to get forward. They were trying to do an awful lot. But Villa, and like my brother's a Villa fan, I'll tell you this, and his exact words were, if you have a goal, we'll sit off and we'll try and counter-attack. And that's exactly what Villa did in the second half. Once they got the second goal, they just sat back and let us go at them. And they looked to pick us off on counter-attacks. Didn't have to commit them any bodies forward. Managed the game out and got it done. There'll be question marks around the changes. It's 70 minutes before Leeds make their first proper attacking changes. And then the next set of changes are in the 79th minute. And they're probably too late. Leeds looked knackered at 60 minutes. The commentary team said that Leeds put everything into that first half. We've been told how fit this Leeds side is. But Leeds have looked leggy in a couple of games now. Internationals or whatever. The lads that weren't on international, not necessarily an issue. But yeah, we'll get into your comments now in a minute and see how you feel about this. But yeah, as I say, it's 5 defeats and 6 for Leeds United. Now, it's relegation form. We're now confirmed as being in the bottom 3. The Villa game at home was probably the one of the 4. They're not easy games, including the Villa game. But in that block of 4, the Villa one at home was probably the one we would like to get something from it. Before the game, I was looking for a 1-1, take a point in that game. You see how well the first half goes for Leeds, and you think you can. This team can compete against these sides if they play a certain way. But then the second we stop playing that way, all of a sudden their weaknesses have a bright light shone on them. And they're glaringly obvious in the second half. But there is ways for Leeds to play football. Didn't do it in the second half. But yeah, this was the one to get some points from. You've now got Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City. Ironically, the Liverpool game could be the one that looks the easiest for Leeds, considering they had their run of form, and Nottingham Forest going and absolutely pasting them away from home yesterday as well. So yeah, look, it's tough. That's a tough one to swallow, especially how good that first half was. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because the second half you concede twice at home. Conceding too many goals. That is the one major takeaway. Leeds United are conceding too many goals. End of story. Whatever about the attacking stuff, we're conceding too many goals. End of story. It's not going to be, but that's what it is, folks. Look, it is what it is. It's another defeat. We'll see what happens this week. We know what the back pages are going to be. We know what the rhetoric's going to be all week. We know it's going to be. There'll likely be a story about Daniel Farke under pressure during the week. It is what it is. We'll cover it in the news. We're not picking and choosing what we want. Yeah, Brendan's an easy target, but then so is the goalkeeper, and so is Pascal, and so is Yaka. Individuals are easy targets. There are bigger problems. So we'll have to see. Look, we'll see what Daniel Farke says. We'll see what everyone else says afterwards. Massive thanks for everyone for watching the stream. I hope the new format is a bit calmer and more discussion focused. Your opinions are valid, whatever your opinion is, if it's been delivered in the right way without being insulting. So no problem there. Thanks again for watching. We'll see how we go in the next 3. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy one, but we'll have to push on and hope we can get a couple of points in the next couple of games, specifically the 2 games at home in the next 3. We'll see how we get on. Maybe Liverpool's one, we can pick up something. If we can get a couple of points in this block, we'll see how we go. Back tomorrow morning for the news. It'll likely be the fallout of this. If it is, I'll tell you. Again, we'll see how we go. Podcast will be out on Tuesday night. We'll start looking ahead to the next game next weekend and what comes out over the next couple of games. Also, by the way, thanks for these. These are the awards that we won. Hard to see them there, but that's for everybody who supported the channel and watched it. I really appreciate all the support and the help in getting to this stage. And again, as I always say, agree or disagree, anything else. If you watched the video, if you've commented, if you've liked, if you've subbed, any of that, I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. It means an awful lot. So I really do appreciate that. I'll leave it there. I'll see you on the other side. Try and enjoy the rest of your weekend if you can. See you tomorrow morning. Talk to you later. See you. Bye.